Let's talk about business loans from alternative lenders. And of course, we are focusing on bad credit. So, business loans for bad credit from alternative lenders. Now, when you talk about business loans for bad credit, you can get those loans from traditional lenders such as banks and credit unions. But in today's conversation, we want to focus on alternative lenders. So, here's an overview I want you to pay attention to. So, the very first lender I want you to really think about is Credibly. So Credibly is kind of cool in terms of business loans for bad credit because they actually grant you up to $400,000. So you have loans that go from 5,000 all the way to $400,000, and the repayment window is kind of limited though. I mean, they are looking for 3 to 15 months, and the minimum credit score that is needed for this loan here is 500. So that's really good. So FICO score 500, you are good to go. You are getting in. And what we love about Credibly is that they want you to be in business for at least 6 months and have an average monthly revenue of at least $10,000 to $15,000. In some cases, they will work with you if you have $5,000 on a monthly basis, and that's gross revenue. Okay. So what we love about Credibly is that you have this lender, this alternative lender, offers multiple options for small business financing. You can get approved within 2 to 4 hours. They have a low minimum credit score. They do provide loan amounts of up to 400,000. And the cool thing is the funds are deposited as soon as the same business day. So you get your cash, like if you apply in the morning, you can get your cash like let's say in the afternoon. That's really good. And they consider all kinds of criteria in terms of approval. Now the only thing is that they want you to have an average monthly revenue of $5,000 to $15,000. Now, for some businesses, this could be a problem, but hey, listen, it is what it is. They are very good. Now, the second business loan bad credit from an alternative lender is Square. Now, Square is not really a lender. I mean, Square does a lot of things. They do a POS, a point of sale. They also are in when it comes to electronic processing. But this is great. The Square loan is best for Square users, and you have all kinds of loans actually. And what we love about Square is that they will actually approve you up to $250,000. But the only thing is you have to be a Square, sort of a Square user, or a Square seller. That way they have a clear idea about your revenue, your cash flow, your inflows and outflows, and your transaction volume in general. So they will give you a loan based on your transactional activities. So, but that's really good in terms of business loan bad credit. So if you have bad credit, but you happen to be a Square user, you can really apply for this loan, not a problem. Another business loan bad credit from an alternative lender is OnDeck. And OnDeck is kind of cool because they are actually very flexible. They will approve you for anywhere any amount from $5,000 to $250,000, and the minimum credit score goes from 525 all the way to 625. So that's really good. Now the APR is kind of high though. The APR can go all the way to 70%. So we love OnDeck because it has a variety of business lending products and same-day funding. And the cool thing is that they have a repayment terms of up to 24 months. You can also access a credit limit of $6,000 to $100,000 through its line of credit. So they have actually a business line of credit for bad credit, and they also have a business loan for bad credit. So they have two programs going there. Now the business loan, actually the maximum for the business loan is $250,000. The maximum for the business line of credit is $100,000. So you get flexibility there, okay? And you have a low minimum credit score requirement, but you must be operating for at least 1 year, 6 months to 1 year, to actually qualify for this OnDeck loan. But the only thing is, if you are in North Dakota, you're not going to get this loan because they don't operate there. They have some problem with the state legislation. I mean, the state regulation in terms of banking. So they do not lend in North Dakota. And number 4, you have FundThrough. FundThrough is actually a great alternative lender for a business loan bad credit. We love FundThrough because they actually are very generous. You can actually get a loan of up to $10 million. $10 million. You heard that right. $10 million. And the fees actually start at 2.75. So they charge fees. So you have the APR, but you also have fees. And minimum credit score for FundThrough is 300. So FundThrough is very cool in terms of is very flexible in terms of minimum FICO score. Okay, Now, Fund Through actually specializes in invoice factoring, and so they actually offer invoice factoring without a credit check, and loans can extend up to $10 million, as I said a little earlier. And the lender offers a funding speeds that reportedly are 97 to 99% faster than other invoice factoring companies. Now, factoring rates range from 2.5% to 5%, and there are no additional financing fees. That said, borrowers such as you, may encounter additional fees for early invoice payments and same-day funding. So, something to really think about. Now you have to consider PayPal. Now, PayPal working capital loan. This is another business loan, bad credit from an alternative lender, and PayPal really is an alternative lender because PayPal is not in the business of lending money, right? But they can get you cash, and you can actually get anywhere from $1,000 all the way to $150,000. So that's really cool. And in some cases, they can go all the way to $250,000, depending upon the solidity of your financial profile. So PayPal is really sort of flexible in that sense. But PayPal's working capital loans are exclusively available to eligible PayPal users. And so you don't have to have good credit or bad credit or whatever. I mean, whatever you have, they'll take you. And when you think about it, this simplifies the application and approval process because PayPal already has access to your business accounts and other financial information. Again, they want to focus on your transactional workflow, your transactional inflows and outflows. And so that's really good. And one thing I want to say here is that rather than an interest rate, borrowers are charged a fixed fee based on the loan amount, repayment percentage, and the business's PayPal account history. That's what I was just telling you a little earlier in terms of transactional flows. Now, as a borrower, you must pay at least 5 to 10% of the loan balance every 90 days to remain in good standing. But no payments are due on days without sales. So everything is linked to your sales. So that's really good. That's really fantastic. And the application is straightforward and entirely online with no credit check. So it doesn't matter if you have a bad credit or good credit, you will love this PayPal sort of program. Another business loan for bad credit from an alternative lender is Kiva. And Kiva is kind of cool because Kiva really will lend you up to $15,000. In some cases, they'll go all the way to $50,000. And but Kiva is a nonprofit lender. In other words, you're not really getting money from this institution. You're getting money from donors. You know what Kiva does is Kiva actually serves as a platform whereby people are donating, and so you got to really find a way to have your loan being funded. Okay, and so Kiva actually refers to those as direct loans, which are only available to businesses in the U.S. and social enterprises internationally. So it's a little restrictive, but hey, listen, at least they don't check your credit, so you can get your cash like real fast. But the amount that you can get through a Kiva is kind of limited, though. You know, $15,000. Maybe that's a little too little. That's too little for your specific activity. But hey, listen, it is something. Money is money anyway. Now I want to talk to you about Headway Capital. Headway Capital is another business loan, bad credit from an alternative lender. And when you think about Headway Capital, I want you to think about $100,000 maximum. Okay, and so they offer a fast and flexible line of credit for borrowers who may not qualify for more traditional options. So they give loans also, but also a line of credit, and they have a flexible qualification requirements. There are no prepayment penalties, and funds are available by next business day after approval. So you kind of have some kind of flexibility there. And now the minimum annual revenue that Headway Capital wants you to have is $50,000, which can be a little problematic for startups, for instance. But the cool thing is that you have the ability to get things done a lot faster. That's really cool. And we love the fact that you have the ability to get things done, not only in terms of how you look at the application process, but also how you actually get things done at the end of the day. So fantastic. Next, you have a Triton Capital. Triton Capital is another great business loan, bad credit from an alternative lender. And but Triton Capital actually focuses on equipment financing. And so this loan is great for equipment loans for bad credit. If you want to buy a car or you want to buy something for your factory or whatever, you can actually go to Triton Capital and they'll take care of you. So they offer fast equipment loans for bad credit up to $250,000. in a range of industries, okay? And they can actually fund within 1 to 2 business days. So in terms of speed, you get your cash a lot faster. So that's really cool. And we love the fact that with Triton Capital, there is no prepayment penalty, and you have a flexible repayment options like monthly, quarterly, annually, or semi-annually. So you have some kind of flexibility in terms of repaying the loan. So that's really fantastic. But yes, we love the fact that Triton Capital is constantly trying to be a very good source of business loan, bad credit from an alternative lender. I want to talk to you now about national funding. So national funding is another great business loan for bad credit from an alternative lender. And national funding actually is great for unsecured business loans for bad credit. And the maximum here is pretty generous. You are looking at $500,000. Can you imagine that? $500,000. And so if you don't qualify for more traditional loan options, you might consider national funding for fast access to capital, for instance. And the cool thing is you have funding in as little as 24 hours. You have prepayment discounts available. And national funding actually offers loan to startups and borrowers with bad credit. And no collateral or down payment is required. So that's kind of cool in terms of the flexibility. So we love that a lot. And one thing I want to say here is that national funding actually wants you to have they do have a minimum annual revenue. That's kind of high, like $250,000. And but if you can't actually gather that revenue amount, they'll give you a lower amount. But see, listen, the cool thing is the maximum is $500,000. So if you get 50,000 or 75,000 from national funding, that is still good anyway. So fantastic. The last business loan for bad credit from an alternative lender here is Altline. And what we love about Altline is that they are very generous. $10 million, minimum credit score 300. But see, the thing is that they can go as high as 10 million, because Outline is really specializing in invoice factoring, so accounts receivable factoring, but also invoice factoring. And the cool thing is that they actually they will fund your program real fast. So no, they don't play shenanigans or whatever on you. They'll fund your account real fast. So you have capital available within 24 to 48 hours. No collateral required. They actually manage payment collections from your customer, and they accept startups and businesses with bad credit. So doesn't matter if your paydesk score is low or your FICO score is low. They will work with you. Just make sure that you get the job done. You get your revenue, you get your cash inflows and cash outflows are pretty shipped up. So that's really good. So here you have it, the top 10 business loans bad credit from alternative lenders. Let me give you an approach here when we talk about comparing business loans for bad credit from alternative lenders. You have to really understand that all lenders are not the same, and you got to really pay attention to a lender's eligibility criteria. You have to make note of all the cost, and you have to get pre-approved. So if you can get pre-approved, you're basically sort of preserving your FICO score. And that's kind of important because some lenders allow you to pre-qualify for a business loan, often with only a soft credit inquiry that won't hurt your credit score. So if a lender you are interested in has a pre-approval process, you can enter some basic business information to get a loan and interest rate estimate if you are eligible for financing. For instance, National Funding, they have a soft pull process. Headway Capital, same thing. Triton Capital, same thing. And PayPal and Square don't need to have a soft pull because they already have your data. So for them, it's a lot faster. Okay, so you have also Credibly. Credibly has a soft pull process also in place, so that's really good. And so when I was talking to you about making note of all the costs, it's important because you want to tally up the cost of interest, origination fees, and any other fees that you might have to pay when you take out a business loan, right? Because bad credit loan options tend to be more expensive. Calculating the cost of financing upfront is essential. So you should also understand that both, let's say, your monthly payments or your weekly payment or your semi-weekly payment, whatever frequency they have actually assigned to you. You got to really understand how much it will cost you every period, as well as the overall loan cost when deciding whether a business loan is right for you. You also want to pay attention to the lender's criteria. So we're talking about the minimum credit score, for instance, the revenue amount, the how long they want you to be in business, and so on and so forth. Those are criteria that can actually make or break a deal, right? So if they say, for instance, that they want you to have a $250,000 in revenue and you're a startup, the Lord knows you can't really gather that revenue. And so it's one of those things where you wouldn't qualify for that loan. So this is something that you really have to pay attention to, not only in the short run, but also in the long run, because as your business scales, you want to make sure you are still within the condition that the lender has originally set. I want to talk to you now about if for any reason you do not qualify for bad credit loans, you can always try no credit check business loans. This is another element, because the thing is that a bad credit business loans are sort of correlated to a no credit check, but they're different, because no credit check means no credit check. Bad credit means that, you know what, they'll take you even if you have a 300 or 400 or 500. As long as you have a low FICO score, they'll take you. But no credit check just means that, you know what, if you are new, if you're a newbie, if you really don't want the lender to look at your credit at all, maybe because you have a bankruptcy, you have a derogatory items, and you're just trying to really hide that, not hide it, but you're just trying to really keep it under wraps, then that's when a no credit check will be more appropriate for you. And when we talk about no credit check business loans, we are talking about invoice factoring. We are speaking about equipment loans. We are speaking about MCAs, so merchant cash advances, and we are also talking about payment processor business loans. So you have an idea of those loans. You can see that those loans are collateralized when you think about them, because invoice factoring actually is based on the value of your invoices. Equipment loans are also collateralized because the underlying factor here is equipment. Merchant cash advances actually are linked to your electronic sales, and payment processor business loans are kind of similar to MCA. So you have loans. So when we talk about no credit check business loans, those are loans that are actually collateralized by definition. And so where do you get a business loan with no credit? Well, you can get a business loan from with no credit from online lenders, from micro lenders such as Kiva, for instance, from crowdfunding platforms, or also from MCA companies. So that's really important. And to actually get a business loan with no credit check, make sure that you check. You want to make sure that you check alternative financing options. Your current bank may offer financing with no credit check because, again, they see your activity, they see your cash inflows and cash outflows. You can also reach out to a payment processor that offers business loans based on sales history. See, everything is based on either either your cash inflows and cash outflows, or your sales history, or your revenue history. You can also reach out to a personal, not a personal. You can reach out to a family members, for instance, or friends. If you have a network of friends or family members, you can reach out and sort of get a personal savings or loans from them. So this is totally. I'm just telling you. You have to cast a wider net when it comes to getting the funding that you need for your business. Now, you can also try small business grants, but those are actually grants are more difficult because they're free money. So there's an entire lengthier application process for you to get the cash you need for your business. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Into this conversation, I was just talking to you about business loans, bad credit from alternative lenders. And so let's quickly do a recap here. Number 1, Credibly. Number 2, Square. Number 3, OnDeck. Number 4, Fund Through. Number 5, PayPal Working Capital Loan. Number 6, Kiva. Number 7, Headway. Number 8, Triton Capital. Number 9, National Funding. And number 10, Outline. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.